Brought to you by Penguin.
Elizabeth, an intimate portrait. Written and read by me, Gyles Brandreth. Prologue. September 2022. It is Tuesday, the 6th of September 2022. 70 years and 7 months, 25,780 days since Elizabeth II became Queen. I am sitting in the Royal Library at Windsor Castle, in the Elizabeth I Gallery, the third of the 3 remarkable rooms that make up the library and house its many treasures, from Henry VIII's Bible to the first folio of Shakespeare's plays that King Charles I read and annotated as he awaited his execution in January 1649. As I begin this book, my account of Elizabeth II, planned for publication after her death, this beautiful library seems a fitting place to contemplate the mystery of monarchy and its peculiar and undiminished hold on the public imagination. For more than 1,000 years, in Britain, our kings and queens have been central to our island story. And curiously, now, in the 21st century, when the sovereign is no longer an executive monarch and has no real power to speak of, around the world there continues to be a fascination with the British royal family. Britain was once the centre of a global empire, no longer. Ours is only the 21st most populated country in the world, with the 6th largest economy. But every survey shows that our monarch remains the most famous head of state on earth. Elizabeth II is a global figure, the longest-serving sovereign in our history, and, at home and abroad, arguably the best-loved and most respected. Windsor Castle is the oldest and largest inhabited castle in the world, originally built by William the Conqueror in the 11th century, following the Norman invasion of England in 1066. It has been used by kings and queens since the time of Henry I, who reigned from 1100 to 1135. Elizabeth II often claimed it as her favourite home. This morning, to my right, through the window, in the late summer sunshine, beneath the castle ramparts, I can see 2 guardsmen marching between their sentry boxes in the courtyard below. To my left, on the table immediately in front of me, sits a small French psalter, a little book of psalms, that belonged to Elizabeth I when she was a teenage girl in the 1540s, before she became Queen. I've been leafing through it, with permission, and marvelling at the poem the young princess inscribed at the back of the book and signed Elizabeth in a clear and elegant hand. With her brother Edward, the future Edward VI, Elizabeth, also a child of Henry VIII, was taught to write in the fine italic script which had been developed during the early Renaissance period. In 1547, the young Princess Elizabeth sent a painted portrait of herself to her brother Edward, accompanied by a letter in which she described the portrait as the outward shadow of the body, and expressed a wish that her inward mind could be more often in her brother's presence. As I sit here, I realize that is my challenge with this book, to try to present to you the inward mind of Elizabeth I's successor, Elizabeth II. You know the outward shadow. You know what our Queen looks like. Living so long, no one in the history of the world has been painted from life more often or been photographed more frequently than Elizabeth II. She has been depicted on stage and screen, in plays, in films, in television series, as a waxwork, as a puppet, even as an avatar. But what is she really like? Who is Elizabeth II? What is the nature of her inward mind? The Queen herself is not here today. She's at Balmoral, on duty as ever. As I sit here at Windsor, at the invitation of Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cornwall, who will be the Queen Consort by the time you hear this, Her Majesty is in the drawing-room at Balmoral Castle in Aberdeenshire.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?